only after you're doing that, and in case of girls under the Indian laws, you can only get married only after you have attained the age of 18. So this all explains what has been the rationale behind making 18 of this. Now coming to the question that the petitioners or the activists are talking about, how is it different when it comes to consensual sex? And how is it that you're going to ensure that it is because the hormones are playing havoc, all the teenagers? How are you going to ensure that this consensual sexual relationship is a formed decision taken by the adolescents? Now this is where I am,
a lot of critics are coming in and saying 16 is no different than 18. Your cognitive skills are as underdeveloped till your early 20s. So how is it going to make a difference? The challenge that's being put forth by those critiquing the existing law is that you're criminalizing young love. Now, how do you look at that phenomena before I go across to Poonamji?
No. I don't think so. That's what it's it's like that the criminal justice is being weaponized or something against the two consenting adolescents. That is what, if that is what the petitioners are saying. My suggestion is that why don't you make that exception in the case of contract signing? Why don't you make that exception in the case of the driver's license issuance? Why can't you make that as an exception even in the issuance of the passport if an adolescent wants to apply for that? Why is it only for the sexual part of it? So when I talk about growth, or what I mean by growth, I mean growth physically, mentally, emotionally, to be capable to do all these things. And instead, what I would say, that if this is what these cognitive sort of issues that you're talking about, make them more aware, make it a sex education which is more, they are more aware of what it entails, the precautions to be taken, the aftermath in cases of certain pregnancies, etc. The educating part could be used for the children to be able to understand that concept, by which 18 they are completely ready in all sense of the word. What's the big hurry is what my question.
Okay, all right. Ms. Poonam, your opening thoughts. Where do you stand on this? There are so many aspects to the story which are being spoken of. Exploitation, are we punishing or criminalizing young love, adolescents who are in a consensual relationship? There are other aspects of how 18 is the recognized age for other purposes in the country, like driving, voting, for instance. So a host of factors have been laid out as we try and decode this story. What are your thoughts?
So while I absolutely agree with a lot of and much of what Mandakini has said, I have one difference, if I may, and that is that young people in India, it's not only about the age. Case data shows that young people are being penalized, demonized for having sex, whatever their age, if the parents decide that a caste or religion or culture comes, the social norms do not accept young people having sex. And that's one reason we don't have comprehensive sex education for young people, whether it's in our public health system or in our education system and so on. So age is just a number, while I agree with that. But I think by this petition and the Supreme Court reviewing all these issues that Mandakini and I are raising come into the fore, and there is a strong message to courts, to parents, that you cannot criminalize young people for having sex. And second, I'd like to say that young people, it is not only between 16 and 18, even a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old, I do believe if we do comprehensive sexuality education across the world, we have evidence, and in India, that sexual debut and protection and so on is something that the young people absorb and then practice in their lives. So I completely agree with Mandakini on the focus on sex education, but the bottom line is that why is the rest of the world has 16? What is it about Indian adolescents or young people that we changed it to 18 and we are there is a debate
would you
on
then
changing
say,
it to 16? For
Poonamji,
me,
would you then say this is for us
yes,
a point of introspection wherein we must think and reflect on why is it that our society is not
Absolutely.
being able to wrap its head around all of these factors that are being considered and have to be considered. We don't have a choice, but we will have to consider these factors of inequality, be it gender, be it economic factors, all of that is at play. Why is it at play? Something as a society we need to reflect on. Is that what you're saying?
exactly what I'm saying. It has already triggered the debate and there is much discussion, and I think we did POSCO was formulated in 2012. You know, the world has changed so much, and especially young people's reality, their exercising, their agency, autonomy, sexual activity, and debut is increasing. I mean, debut at a lower age and sexual activity is increasing. And even if it is not increasing, we owe it to the young people, where prevention and promotion is impacted, because a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old girl still cannot, or boy, go to the public health system and ask for condoms or sexual, protection for their sexual activity or behavior. And what happens is the public health system is scared. Even an A&M and ASHA in the village who knows there's sexual activity happening will not give protection and are actually scared of being penalized.
Okay, so you're
now,
saying, Poonamji, if there is a healthy sex education ecosystem infrastructure in our country, we're ready.
Yes.
We're ready to lower the consensual age to 16.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. And no, for me, it's not a precondition. We must do it regardless of this case. We must do it. And this case basically shows a torchlight on what is wrong. You know, the world is changing so much. Indian young people are changing so much. They have so much access to information, and we can see, girls are exercising their right, whether it's a live-in relationship or staying in school, working. The aspirations of young people has changed. In fact, today I say the world and India is changing. There is no certainty. The only certainty is uncertainty, and young people don't need that additional uncertainty where if they have consensual sex, they are going to be penalized. And the other thing I want to say is consensual sex should be the main aspect when parents go against the boy who happens to be intercaste or a different religion. Consensual sex has to be the main aspect that we look at, even if you are 15. And
the problem here is only. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make a quick comment. Why not then driving and voting and all other aspects? This impacts young people's lives much more than that vote, which is important once in 5 years, or having access to a car with a license. Young people's lives are ruined if they do get, whether it's unprotected sex that leads to health consequences.
The only complication here is, while I'm in complete agreement with you, Poonamji, the only complication is it leads to a series of challenges, unintended pregnancies at an earlier age. So your right age to marry will also then be lowered to 16. How do you cope with all of those challenges? And as a society, are we ready for it truly? So sex education is one, but implementation is the other key aspect. Very quickly, Mrunalini ji, I need to move on. We need to go across to other big news coming in. But do you also think? Yeah, I also want to ask you whether you think this is going to weaken the existing POXO framework in the country, because that was one of the biggest reasons why the age factor.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Right now in a consensual sex, that if suppose if it is permitted to be after the age of 16, and do you think that that will not give a reason for the parents to get into inter-religious and inter-caste? That aspect I agree with. But today when you're talking about the adolescents as compared to what is internationally, please understand we are not talking only about urban area or urban metros. We are talking about the 80% of the children who are in the tier 2, tier 3 kind of situation. Let's empower them with all these educational sex education and what are the effects or otherwise. Let's use it in a constructive manner, make it compulsory, make it mandatory, make it some things which so then they are empowered by the age of 18. What's the big hurry? I understand for a teenager it may not be necessary to drive a car or to get a passport or to get any of those things, but it is also not necessary for him to jump into something.
Point noted. I think this is a conversation that's not going to die down anytime soon. Ladies, we're running out of time. I need to quickly move on because there's more breaking news we need to shift our attention to. Dr. Amit Sen has been patiently waiting for us. He's a child and adolescent psychiatrist, co-founder and director of Children First. He's with us this morning too. Dr. Sen, thank you for waiting so very patiently. Dr. Sen, now from a psychological perspective, how do you look at this entire conversation that's been unfolding? It's going to reach the Supreme Court very soon. There's a host of opinions coming in already. But as far as an adolescent psyche is concerned, 16 or 18, how much of a difference does it make?
So to start with, I think we need to understand why this law came into existence in the first place, right? Through the POCSO Act in 2012. What were we trying to solve for? So we were trying to protect our children, and it came from a lot of data that told us that our young people are indeed being sexually exploited, abused in a very big way, right? And those were because of many social ills that are there, right? If you look at it scientifically from a psychological or medical point of view, sexuality starts much earlier than 16, actually. Young boys and girls begin to become aware of their bodies, their gender, and their sexuality from their early adolescent years, which is even before teens, actually. And that sexuality and, gender, the awareness of it, and negotiating through that, as they grow up, is a central part of the healthy growth and development of young people. And if we do not allow that, if we kind of, tell them that because there are social ills out there, because, there is a possibility of exploitation, you're not going to do this at all. Till 18, you don't have any scope of getting into any kind of sexual relationships, activity, any kind of intimacy, then we are doing them a big disfavor. So while we have to, I think, allow, young people to have agency, they make big decisions, much before 18. They, for instance, make decisions about which stream they're going to study in, what colleges they will go to. They all happen. They're solving for their lives. They're building a career from before 18. And at that point in time, when sexuality is pulsating, in their minds and their bodies, you can't take it away and say, it's like saying to our girls that you can't wear these clothes because, out there, if you step out wearing these clothes, people will look at you and will pass comments or come and attack you. That's not the solution.
Let's say an adolescent at 16 and 18, Dr. Sen, are they very different in terms of their cognitive ability, in terms of their emotional ability to really understand the consequences?
See, it is not a cut-off like that because, the cognitive abilities is growing. And in fact, adolescence stops only at 25.
Yeah.
So the process of growth and development, both biologically and psychologically, emotionally, is going to continue. So should we say that, one should not think of sex till 25? I mean, that's preposterous, isn't it? So the differences, and also it's individualistic. I mean, adolescents grow in different ways. They get exposed to different things depending on socio-cultural context, their own individual, propensity to get interested in certain things and so on. So there are individual differences as well. And there's not a lot of difference, honestly, between 16 and 18-year-olds. 16-year-olds also have the capability to gather information, to make balanced judgments, use logic and reasoning. And indeed, it is a learning process for them at this age to understand consent, boundaries, build trusting relationships and so on. Right. And if they don't learn it now, they'll probably, falter and flounder even after 18 because they haven't had the opportunity to learn these skills, isn't
Okay.
it?
And Dr. Sen, what about the one thing which is being spoken of, exploitation? That's one of the words that everyone who's opposing this move is saying, that there is a high possibility of then 16 to 18-year-olds being vulnerable to exploitative partners, elder partners. What are your thoughts there, and what could that do to a person's psyche in the long term?
What we can do is, rather than take away their rights completely in this domain, we can have clauses in the law which says that, to protect them from exploitation. There are things that we know now from the research that has gone on, the data that we have. We have seen that a large section of the exploitation happens within families, older relatives, teachers, or it happens when there is a power dynamic, like between castes and religion, and who's the perpetrator and so on. And if we are able to put that in the law and in the clause, that what is the age differential, what is the relationship with a person that consensual sex is agreed upon, is there use of force, of coercion, is there a power dynamic, like is the young person coming to work in a household, which is when that happens, then it becomes exploitative, or it is being done with an ulterior motive. Those are kind of things that we can weave into the law so that it also becomes protective at the same time. So where there is a blanket kind of an openness after 18, where anybody can, have a consent to, give consent to a sexual relationship, between 16 and 18, it can be much more nuanced. Then we can actually put in riders and clauses over there to protect the children, at the same time give them agency and the freedom to do what they're biologically and psychologically programmed to do, because it's a part of growing up. It's a part of understanding your own self. It's a part of developing your identity and understanding your gender, sexuality in deeper ways. And if we take that right away from them, then we are, again, as I said, doing them a huge disservice, taking away agency from our age group, where the more agency we give them, the more freedom they have to make life choices.
But do they really have that kind of agency, Dr. Sen? A lot of critics who are strictly against lowering the consensual age to 16 are saying, how are you talking about an adolescent at 16, 17 and agency in the same breath?
No, but isn't it true that we are at the same time seeking to see a generation which will be more responsible, which will, be more reflective, which will take
because at 16 they're not even out of school, they're not even on their own, they're not standing on their own feet, they're not financially independent. So there's a host of other factors that come into play. So making those decisions that could change your life, flip it altogether at that age, is that a wise thing to do? That's what's being asked.
Yeah. So if you look at the Indian context, even an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old still is dependent on the family. They are being, their education is being paid for. Most of them live in the family, within the family. So it's not as if that at 18, at that cutoff, suddenly things dramatically change in the lives of young people. And as we now know that biologically, psychologically, the age of maturity is actually much later. It's a process. It's not a cutoff in my mind, right? And we have to, help our young people to get into that process so that they become more competent and more responsible as they grow up. And so it's not going to be, one thing or the other, this way or that. It has to be a nuanced approach where we are able to actually do this journey with them, rather than be, kind of just from the top, from a legal point of view, an adult point of view, put a kind of a boundary and say, this is not allowed right now, right? So,
that brings me to the other side of the coin, Dr. Sen. What does an incident wherein you're criminalizing young love, so for any of the two partners concerned, what does that situation do to their psyche? Is there trauma that follows, stigma, mental health problems? Elaborate a little on that.
It is indeed traumatic, for something which is so natural, and perhaps for many young people, something that is exciting, beautiful, it helps them to, again, feel good about themselves. They have a certain sense of self, of validation when they get into romantic relationships, isn't it? Yeah? And you criminalize that, it's deeply traumatic, and they might carry that trauma for the rest of their lives. They may not be able to have trusting relationship for years to come after that, right? So we are also, in a way, by putting in such a heavy law out there, creating a lot of dissonance and trauma in the young generation. And we know that the exploitation comes from the other side as well. So when young people get into consensual relationships, there are other people, adults, who do not approve of it and will use the law so unfairly, in such a unjust manner, to be able to get after, particularly young men who have got into it and criminalize them. It's traumatic for both. It's very traumatic for the girl as well.
So you're saying lowering the consensual age, Dr. Sen, will shift the society's focus from criminalization to education, maybe. Maybe it will be a reverse story.
Absolutely. So sexuality then becomes a part of life skills, and we have to incorporate that. Life skills has become a part of education now. The NEP says that life skills should be a part of education, should be done on a weekly basis in every class from a very early age. And I think that if we shift the lens and say that this is an essential part of growing up, of healthy growth and development, of responsibility and agency in young people, then we have to begin to educate them, have open conversation, make safe spaces where we can have conversations about things which are otherwise such a taboo. We don't talk about sexuality. Parents can't talk about sexuality to their children. That's not okay. That's something that we have to question as a society. Why can't we do it?
You're compelling us, Dr. Sen, this morning to really look at the brighter side here, look at how this could make a shift for the right reasons and is the way forward, really. So thank you for joining us with that interesting takeaway. Thank you. Thank you for being with us here on The Breakfast Club. Well, it's a debate that's not going to die down anytime soon. As soon as the Supreme Court takes this up, lots more will unfold. But heading into a very short break for now. Coming up next, we will be going across to our person of interest, Sanjeeta Bhattacharya. She's known to blend music genres like no one else can. She's also tried her luck with acting. A lot of interesting stories coming up with her in just a bit.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
थोड़ी बात जीएसटी की करें। आपकी सरकार ने जो है पिछले साल बजट में इनकम टैक्स रेट की कटौती की, मिडिल क्लास को बहुत बड़ा फायदा हुआ। अभी जीएसटी रैशनलाइज करा है तो उससे भी जो है लोगों के हाथों में बहुत पैसा आया है, अच्छा पैसा आया है। तो क्या आपको लगता है कि इसका लाभ एक आम आदमी को मिल पाया है और क्या इससे इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी बढ़ेगी, इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ेगा?
जरूर मिल पाया है। 395 चीजें 28% और 18% पर थी, इसको 5% या 0% टैक्स कर दिया। और ज्यादातर चीजें रोजमर्रा की उपयोग की चीजें थी जो हमारी माताएं बहनें खरीद करती थी। और ये पूरा फायदा पास ऑन हो, इसके लिए वित्त मंत्रालय ने एक कमेटी बनाई है। इसका क्लोज मॉनिटरिंग हो रहा है और पास हो भी रहा है। इसीलिए इस बार दीपावली और छठ पूजा में, भैया दूज में विक्रम रिकॉर्ड तोड़ने वाली खरीदी हुई है और व्यापारी बहुत खुश है, महिलाएं भी खुश है।
मैंने ये भी सुना है अमित जी की ड्रग्स कार्टल्स पर भी आपका एक बहुत बड़ा हमला है और आपका एक बहुत बड़ा प्लान है कि इसको भी जो है उखाड़ कर फेंकना है इस देश से। तो इसके बारे में कुछ हमें बताएं कि कहां पे इस पर आपके क्या टारगेट्स हैं, कैसे आपने इसको अप्रोच किया?
ये बहुत गंभीर समस्या है जी, जो हमारी आने वाली नस्लों को खोखला करती है। हमने 5 साल में इसका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाने का काम पूरा कर लिया है। 5 साल में से 3 साल हमने अपने ही रिकॉर्ड तोड़ते गए, रिकॉर्ड तोड़ ड्रग्स जब्त किया है, जलाया भी है रिकॉर्ड बनाकर, और ढेर सारे अपराधियों को पकड़ा भी है। अब पूरे भारत के सभी राज्यों की पुलिस और सेंट्रल एजेंसियां मिलकर इनकी कार्टेल की बड़ी मछलियों को घेरने के लिए कार्य योजना बनाई है। और मैं आशा करता हूं कि 2-3 साल के अंदर ड्रग के सिनेरियो में भारत में ड्रास्टिक गिरावट आएगी और बहुत अच्छी सफलता हमारे देश की सभी राज्यों की पुलिस को मिलेगी। सब लोग एक साथ एक मुश्त होकर ड्रग के दूषण के सामने जंग लड़ रहे हैं।
एक सवाल एसआईआर के बारे में मैंने आपसे पूछा था, एक बड़े पर्सपेक्टिव पे ये जानना चाह रहा था कि अभी जो है इलेक्शन कमीशन ने अनाउंस किया है कि 12 स्टेट्स और यूनियन टेरिटरीज में ये एक्सरसाइज करेगी। काफी सारी स्टेट्स हैं, वेस्ट बंगाल, तमिलनाडु, वो कह रही हैं कि कोई भी हालत में हम इसको करने नहीं देंगे। तो ये संभव हो पाएगा क्या इनके इतने स्ट्रांग रेजिस्टेंस के बाद?
देखिए, तो चुनाव आयोग को देखना है, हमें नहीं करना है। मगर हमारी पार्टी का, पूरे एनडीए का चुनाव आयोग को एसआईआर के लिए समर्थन है। और एसआईआर कोई पहली बार नहीं हुआ है, 1955 से लेकर 2004 तक हुआ है एसआईआर। कांग्रेस के समय में भी कई बार एसआईआर हुआ है। कितने सारे लोगों की मृत्यु होती है, कितने सारे नए मतदाता आते हैं, कितने सारे लोगों के एड्रेस बदलते हैं, ढेर सारे घुसपैठिए घुसे। तो मतदाता सूची का शुद्धिकरण होना ये बहुत जरूरी होता है। पर मैं नहीं समझता इसमें सहयोग करने की जगह विपक्ष क्यों इसका विरोध कर रहा है। उनको दूषित मतदाता सूची ही चाहिए जिसके आधार पर वो असली जनादेश को छिपा सकते, इसलिए वो इसका विरोध करते हैं। वरना सबने सहयोग करना चाहिए। हर बूथ में हर पार्टी को अपना एजेंट बनाने की छुट्टी दी है चुनाव आयोग ने। हर स्तर पर सुनवाई की प्रोविजन रखा है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक गए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी इसको अप्रूव करा। अब क्या आपत्ति?
And moving on to our person of interest this morning, she's a Berklee-trained singer, actor and songwriter who has made her mark across stages and screens. Sanjeeta Bhattacharya's voice moves between jazz, R&B, pop and indie with an ease that feels almost conversational. She was part of the Grammy-nominated Berklee Indian Ensemble for their album Shuruaat and is now touring India with her Dear Diary set. You've seen her in Jawan with Shah Rukh Khan, The Broken News on Z5, Feels Like Ishq on Netflix, and soon Adbhut with Nawazuddin Siddiqui. Her latest singles, Daira and Saza, released under Tiger Baby Records, carry a lot of raw energy which is being spoken of so much on the internet. So let's bring her in this morning on The Breakfast Club. Sanjeeta Bhattacharya joins us. Hi Sanjeeta, hope you're doing well.
Hi Christine, I'm well. How are you?
Lovely. Lovely to see you. I want to begin and talk so much about your journey, but first I want to begin by asking you to take us back all the way to the very beginning of your musical journey. So how was music introduced to you, at what age, or vice versa?
Well, being a Bengali, I think whoever's watching, if they're Bengali, they will know that we as a community are very inclined towards the arts. So I was introduced to music and dance by my parents, and I started learning Hindustani classical Hindustani classical music under Srimati Sunanda Sharma ji and Kathak under Pandit Birju Maharaj ji at the age of 5, and I continued, being their disciple for about 10-11 years. And after that I went on to Berklee and do my grad there. So yeah, it's been a journey that I've kind of traversed throughout my life.
How great. Sanjeeta, you're deep into your Dear Diary tour as we speak,
Yes.
City after city, stage after stage. What's this journey been like for you? Is this your first such experiment? And how have these audiences, the people, their reaction shifted your relationship with music, if at all?
Oh yes, it has. I mean, this is not the first time that I'm touring the country as an acoustic duo. This is actually the third tour that I'm doing in such a way. Another tour that I did was with my band. Something about doing an acoustic duo tour makes it very intimate. And that was the point of the whole Dear Diary tour, to get an authentic, genuine connection with my audiences. Tell them the stories behind the songs, not just perform, and also get to know each other, and there's no divide between the audience and the artist. They can come up to me, they can say whatever they want. I am confessing some of my unshared stories to them, and they are free to do the same. In fact, I almost always distribute some chits, and I'm like, see, I am bearing my soul to you, why don't you do the same for me? And so they almost always, have something very interesting to say and confess to me as well. And those become prompts for my next songs. So It's been a wonderful journey so far. Only 2 more cities are left, Mumbai and Pune. To go next week, actually, this weekend. And I'm very excited. I am touring with Rag Sethi on guitars.
Yeah.
And people always say the chemistry on stage, the way you say your stories, and
the both of you all spark like creative magnets also. So since you've spoken of Rag Sethi, tell us about that collab on screen, off screen, on stage, off stage. What gets you there? The two of you all?
Well, Rag and I have been friends for a really long time, and right now we're engaged. So,
congratulations!
Thank you. And we are very, very excited. This tour kind of sums up everything we love. We love to travel, we love to eat, we love to try new things, we love to meet new people and play music. So, it's the best thing to do with your fiance. And people say that the chemistry, and not just that, but also his own guitar playing complements my singing beautifully. And the best thing that I find when the audience, in the audience reaction, is when they relate to my music. When I can see a tear in their eyes, and they say that we have never heard anything like this before. We have gone to concerts, we've gone to shows, but this was a bit transcendental, and I know that is a lot to hear, because I'm also
can we get a glimpse of that? You've spoken of the perfect romance you're living. You've spoken of the perfect music experience that has come to your life. So
yes,
let's not leave this out. Give us something.
100%. Yes, I will sing a song that I usually perform during the set as well, and it's a folk song in Bengali, and the first line translates to, "For you, I will be a fool for love." And it goes like, Ami tomaro lagiya jogini hobo go, Ami tomaro lagiya jogini hobo go, আমি রাখবো না আর কুলমান, আমি রাখবো না আর কুলমান, কোন বাদেশে রইলারে নইদার সান, কোন বাদেশে রইলারে নইদার সান.
How lovely, Sanjeeta. You've taken all of us, me, our audience, to a place that we're going to find it difficult to now get back to the conversation. But nonetheless, we're not just looking at music in your story now. There's acting, storytelling, everything is come into play.
Yes.
Which version of Sanjeeta is being cherished the most by you?
I think it is a journey, like you said, every mode in this journey has a different door that I open, and this new door has been acting for me. I don't like to be a linear artist, and I don't like to say that I'm just a singer. I like to say I'm an artist, because who knows what door opens next. I had no idea that acting would happen to me. That was not on my radar at all. But it happened because I was making videos for my music, and someone noticed me acting in my own music videos, and then acting happened very organically, and I am having so much fun exploring this very new art form. So I would say they both go hand in hand, and they both make me the person that I am. They both make me empathetic and help me emote, help me feel and express myself. The more art forms that I can do that through, the more I feel free. So
from music, while you're touring so many times, you're also doing, let's say, Netflix's Feel Like Ishq, Jawan, all of that is happening parallelly. You're crafting two parallel careers.
Yes.
Do they in any way, and what is that way, if at all, do they shape each other in some way, some form? How do they complement each other? How do they influence each other?
Absolutely. See, as an actor, you step into the character's shoes to emote what the character might be, right? You imagine what they would be saying. You imagine how they would be feeling. You make up a backstory. Writing music is very much like that. If it's sometimes it comes from your personal experiences. Sometimes you could hear a story during a conversation, and that might spark an inspiration to write a song. Either way, you are stepping into the shoes of your past self, or the shoes of that person that is telling you the story that is sparking that inspiration for that song. So I think both go hand in hand in terms of emotion, like emoting, and feeling deeply enough that it triggers you so much that you have to put pen to paper and write it. And I love knowing and seeing in my experience how much music and acting, they both make people feel like art is not just
so there's
something.
a lot of heart there. There's a lot of feelings and emotions there, and you'd be more than happy to put it out there for the world to share those emotions within as many ways. Lovely, Sanjeeta. But we're not just looking at you being at the crossroads of different forms of art. You're also traveling through different forms of music. So jazz, Balkan folk, you gave us a little bit of Bengali, indie pop, you name it. Hindustani classical, let's not forget one of your favorites.
Yes.
How do you protect your own voice while embracing so many musical worlds, so many genres, all at the same time?
Well, it's really interesting because I don't sing every genre the same way. For me, voice is my instrument. So say, any other instrument would also not play different genres the same way. So it has been a really fun experiment for me to kind of see how differently I sing a different genre. For example, I would use, I don't know, this might be slightly technical, but like a little bit of my head voice when it comes to saying Hindustani classical. It's a sweeter timbre. And when I'm singing jazz, it's slightly more has more chest voice, and it's slightly more bassy timbre.
Is that how you challenge yourself as well?
Absolutely. It's so much fun to learn about the different kinds of music and how they also interact. For example, flamenco music and Hindustani classical music, they both have similar inflections because the gypsies from Rajasthan traveled all the way to Europe. The language changed, but the music remained similar. That's why there's so many similarities. And now that I've learned Hindustani classical music, I find it easier to kind of sing flamenco. So, it's kind of like that mind-blown moment where you never knew that all this music has roots in the same place.
So at no point in your career did you want to be boxed into one genre, one type, one kind of music, which is what makes you feel free, which is what gives you the kind of freedom, the happiness that you are looking at as an artist. What about the whole concept of originality and how a little bit of that is going away, especially in today's day and age with artificial intelligence coming in? What are your thoughts there?
Well, artificial intelligence, in my opinion, can be used as a tool for inspiration. You can always, there are these apps called, one that I have used and explored with, it's called Suno. Yeah, it's honest. Yeah. Suno. Suno is an app where you can literally sing a melody into, like, and it will literally put chords and like guitars and keys and drums and everything, and it will make it into a song. Now, if you take that like as it is, that I feel you shouldn't. But you can take inspiration. Like you can see where this melody could go. What are the possibilities? So use, I think, AI as a tool, not as a substitute for your own heart. That can't happen.
Okay, lovely. Of the many things that you've been able to achieve are also Daira and Saza. They're also being spoken of widely on the internet, and very soulful singing there. So, give us a few lines of any one of the two. And is there a personal story there, Sanjeeta?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll sing one of the songs, Saza. I'll just sing the chorus. भूलूं कैसे भला यादें छुपाऊं कहाँ इस मर्ज की न कोई दवा सह लेंगे ये सजा. So that was the chorus of Saza.
Yeah.
Thank you. The story behind that is trauma. Long story short, but I think it builds character. I think people need hard times to recognize good times, and I think for artists especially, hard times bring out the best music. So I don't regret it.
Spoken like a true artist. Okay. Sanjeeta, now let's go back to Jawan a little bit. Working with Shah Rukh Khan. How was that? Co-writing, singing, Miss Chika's, pure energy, a lot of attitude. Take us through the experience you had back then.
My gosh, I was basically pushed into this industry head first without knowing anything. I'm still a little, ignorant when it comes to knowing all the people in this industry, the people that I'm supposed to know of. I haven't watched too much like OTT or too many films. I confess, it's not a flex. I should, and I will get there. But yeah, it was as Bollywood as it could possibly get. I mean, a film with Shah Rukh Khan, Sir, Deepika Padukone ma'am, and even not just Bollywood, but also like the southern film industry. And I couldn't believe that I was on a film set. I remember this one time there were like 1,000 women who looked the same, wearing the same costume, all dancing together. And I was like, wow, this feels like a film set. And I was like, wait, it is a film set. So yeah, Shah Rukh sir himself, everything that you hear about him is true. And how. And I am amazed at how he is able to put articulate his thoughts, how he has been able to keep his head on his shoulders despite the constant hype that he has. He is an icon for our country, yet he is humble and witty about it and self-aware. So there's so much to learn there. Not just Shah Rukh sir, but literally everybody on set who
you made quite a few friends. A lot of girl friendship has happened on the set. Lovely.
And people say that's rare, but it's really not. I think that's an old thought. I think girls build each other, and Jawan was the best way to experience that.
Love that. Okay, we're running out of time, but Sanjeeta, I'm not going to let you go without telling us about your future plans. Any collaborations that we must look out for? Anything interesting you're working on now or in the near future?
I have finished a Bengali film which is slated to release next year. It's called Khyber Pass, and so that I'm really excited about. I am going on, like, this Dear Diary tour continues, and we are planning on taking it to Europe next summer, and a few more songs, and not just as singles, but as an EP, as a short album that is slated to release hopefully by April. So
lovely.
Very excited.
We also teased a little bit of Nawazuddin Siddiqui that's happening to your life, coming to your life. Tell us a little bit about that. As we wrap up the conversation,
Yes, I did a role in a film called Adbhut. I believe it is out. It is not yet out fully, like publicly. It was out just for a little bit on OTT, but I think it should be out like properly, hopefully soon. It's called Adbhut.
Because very recently I had the chance to interact with him, and his entire team, the entire crew, was all praises about his versatility. Have you had any such stories, anything you've experienced?
I mean, I remember I had a scene where he was interrogating me.
Okay.
And I was crying, and it was a very emotional scene, and it was day one of shoot with Sir. It felt like he was just talking to me, I didn't even feel like there were cameras, there were any other people. He makes you feel like he's speaking to your soul. And I mean, I guess that's the sign of an incredible actor, where you don't even know when the cameras have started rolling, when action has been said. You literally feel like you're having a conversation, and it's so easy to emote because they allow that. They make that space for you. And gosh, there is so much to learn from Sir. He's like born for this, you know. So it's been a dream come true. In my short career so far, I have had the privilege to work with such incredible.
Lovely. We've digressed a bit, but you know, we're going to keep up with you and your music. Next few days look very promising and very exciting for you. So all the very best, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us here on The Breakfast Club.
So much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, for now, shifting our focus now to the valley. A burst of colour has added a fresh charm to Srinagar's autumn landscape. The newly opened Chrysanthemum Garden, located near the famous Tulip Garden, is drawing visitors from across the valley and beyond. We get you the special CNN News 18 report filed by Shan Vani from Srinagar.
As the chill of late October sets into Kashmir, a blaze of yellow, red and pink has brightened Srinagar's foothills. The State Floriculture Department has opened a dedicated chrysanthemum garden spread across several canals adjoining the Tulip Garden on the Zabarwan foothills. These seasonal blooms, inaugurated last week, feature more than 60 varieties. This garden is part of a year-round plan to make Srinagar a floral destination across all seasons. Tourists who miss the tulip season can now enjoy chrysanthemum till mid-November.
इतना खूबसूरत तरीके से इसको सजाया गया और मेंटेन किया गया है, ये बहुत ही काबिल तारीफ़ है। और मैं चाहूँगी कि आने वाले टाइम में, जैसे कश्मीर हमेशा इन गुलों से, फूलों से महकता रहा है, आने वाले टाइम में भी महकता रहे।
Rows of meticulously curated flowers form dazzling carpets of color. Visitors say the garden offers them a unique experience amid the changing hues of autumn chinars. This floral masterpiece is set to redefine autumn tourism in Kashmir. This initiative also promotes local horticulture and provides livelihood to local growers. Next year, the garden is expected to be bigger and more beautiful.
तरह तरह के फूल है जो कि एक जगह पे कहीं देखने को नहीं मिलते। कश्मीर की वादियों में इस तरह का गार्डन, इस तरह का माहौल देख के बड़ा सुकून महसूस हो रहा है।
ये थोड़ा शॉकिंग है हमारे लिए कि पता नहीं था कि ऐसा भी मिल सकता है। पतझड़ का मौसम में तो ऐसा लगा था कि सारा खाली खाली लगेगा, लेकिन कश्मीर में अभी भी यहाँ पे ये फूल खिले हुए देख के बहुत अच्छा लगा।
मॉर्निंग इवनिंग में काफ़ी ठंड होती है, उसके बावजूद भी यहाँ इतनी गैदरिंग है, तो जाहिर है ये तो है ही कि इसकी अट्रैक्शन से ही सारे यहाँ आए हुए हैं।
From tulips in spring to chrysanthemums in autumn, Srinagar's gardens are fast becoming an all-season attraction. With the new addition, Kashmir's floral story blooms a little longer.
Gardens like these have been opened so that it can showcase Kashmir's potential and attract more tourists and locals to come out of their houses when mornings and evenings are a little chilly. Though there is a mood of autumn in Kashmir, but these flowers have set a different tone. With these flowers in action and in bloom, this is going to be one of the vibrant seasons in the coming years in Kashmir, where this chrysanthemum garden is going to be one of those star attractions apart from the tulip garden, other gardens that are already existing in Kashmir. With Bashir Lone in Srinagar, Shanwani for CNN News 18.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
थोड़ी बात जीएसटी की करें। आपकी सरकार ने जो है पिछले साल बजट में इनकम टैक्स रेट की कटौती की, मिडिल क्लास को बहुत बड़ा फायदा हुआ। अभी जीएसटी रैशनलाइज करा है तो उससे भी जो है लोगों के हाथों में बहुत पैसा आया है, अच्छा पैसा आया है। तो क्या आपको लगता है कि इसका लाभ एक आम आदमी को मिल पाया है, और क्या इससे इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी बढ़ेगी, इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ेगा?
जरूर मिल पाया है। 395 चीजें 28% और 18% पर थी, इसको 5% या 0% टैक्स कर दिया। और ज्यादातर चीजें रोजमर्रा की उपयोग की चीजें थी जो हमारी माताएं बहनें खरीद करती थी। और ये पूरा फायदा पास ऑन हो, इसके लिए वित्त मंत्रालय ने एक कमेटी बनाई है, इसका क्लोज मॉनिटरिंग हो रहा है और पास हो भी रहा है। इसीलिए इस बार दीपावली और छठ पूजा में, भैया दूज में विक्रम रिकॉर्ड तोड़ने वाली खरीदी हुई है और व्यापारी बहुत खुश है, महिलाएं भी खुश है।
मैंने ये भी सुना है अमित जी की ड्रग्स कार्टल्स पर भी आपका एक बहुत बड़ा हमला है और आपका एक बहुत बड़ा प्लान है कि
Welcome back and onto the world of entertainment. American singer and songwriter Demi Lovato returns with her 9th studio album, It's Not That Deep, an energetic dance pop celebration of joy, growth and also about embracing life's imperfections. Featuring 11 powerful tracks, the album reflects a lighter, freer side of Demi Lovato. She said she's poured her energy and love into this record and could not be more excited. The It's Not That Deep tour kicks off 8th April 2026 in Charlotte and wraps up on the 25th of May in Houston. We get you more details in the Shosha Report. We leave you with this one. We'll see you tomorrow at 8. Bye-bye.
I guess I didn't realize that I've done iconic things. And if they are like cringe to some people, they're fun to me. Like the Disney news, they are iconic. And so it's like, it's a matter of like owning the fact that I've made an impact and claiming those moments. But also I think it's like making peace with my past. I haven't had the like, this era for me is, like you said, celebratory and fun. And I think this is the first time where I've ever really stepped into this chapter of my life where I'm like, I've made peace with my journey and now I'm celebrating where I'm at today. And you know, if that's celebrating memes that have gone viral for, you know, silly reasons, like I will own those memes because that's a part of making peace with my past. I used to like, for instance, the Poot meme, when it first happened, I didn't realize it was photoshopped. I thought it was a bad angle of me. So I like was really self-conscious about that meme and was like, oh my God, like I can't believe people are laughing at a bad angle of me. And then I realized it was photoshopped and I was like, wait, this is actually hilarious. And even if it was a bad angle of me, why not laugh at it? You know what I mean? Life is too short to take yourself too seriously, and I'm definitely not doing that anymore. And so it's about reclaiming, you know, or owning my past and also just like having fun in the moment. I think there's something about your 30s too, where you just take a second and you are able to let go of some of the pressures that you once put on yourself maybe in your 20s. And now I'm 33 and I'm not taking myself so seriously because I realize there's room for everyone. It's not about like trying to write the most in-depth song or emotional song, or it's not about, you know, it's just about like, it's about owning where you're at and just loving yourself for you.
Brought to you by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
थोड़ी बात जीएसटी की करें। आपकी सरकार ने जो है पिछले साल बजट में इनकम टैक्स रेट की कटौती की, मिडिल क्लास को बहुत बड़ा फायदा हुआ। अभी जीएसटी रैशनलाइज करा है तो उससे भी जो है लोगों के हाथों में बहुत पैसा आया है, अच्छा पैसा आया है। तो क्या आपको लगता है कि इसका लाभ एक आम आदमी को मिल पाया है, और क्या इससे इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी बढ़ेगी, इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ेगा?
जरूर मिल पाया है। 395 चीजें 28% और 18% पर थी, इसको 5% या 0% टैक्स कर दिया। और ज्यादातर चीजें रोजमर्रा की उपयोग की चीजें थी जो हमारी माताएं बहनें खरीद करती थी, और ये पूरा फायदा पास ऑन हो, इसके लिए वित्त मंत्रालय ने एक कमिटी बनाई है। इसका क्लोज मॉनिटरिंग हो रहा है और पास हो भी रहा है। इसीलिए इस बार